basically just to get some awareness about that. Yes, there are hidden jewels within the United Arab Emirates. Let me tell you a bit about the island. Butina is a unique island. It was one of the first biosphere reserves in 2001 in the region. It has huge seagrass beds. It's huge turtle nesting sites for hawksbill turtles especially, as well as green turtles. Dugongs. Everyone can hear me now? It's has a huge dugong population over there, biggest population after Australia around. It also has a lot of untouched coral, no fishing is allowed, no human interaction is allowed. It's a natural thriving laboratory. So we thought, why not? Let's try and see if we can get into the new 7 Wonders of the World campaign, see if we could win, but just the main point is, let's see if anyone knows about it, and let's see if we can get it popular. We originally started with a ranking of 77, and as we came closer to the deadline, we got to 28, and then the final, November 2011, we reached 14. Now, what the New 7 Wonders Foundation is, it's just a voting campaign where you can foster global dialogue. And who we had to compete with was Great Barrier Reef, Black Forest, Maldives, and the Grand Canyon. Okay, there are too many additives. How do I get out of here? I need to go back. Yeah, I need to go back.
The other button.
So the first strategy that we had to do was, well, of course, we always like nice parties and big exhibitions. So we threw something at Emirates Palace Abu Dhabi. Does anyone watch the movie The Kingdom? No? No. Okay. Emirates Palace Abu Dhabi is a very opulent hotel, huge ballroom. And we had the launch for the Butina project over there. Then after that, everyone was fed, well treated. We had huge PR. We had huge PR and above the line campaign where billboards, advertisements for Butina. The main reason that we had to do this is we also had to go outside of the UAE is because it wouldn't help. I'm a UAE national. I'm only 15% of the minority. The rest are people that are coming from overseas. So where the UAE just has 3 million population. When you're dealing with the Great Barrier Reef, Maldives, Black Forest, Grand Canyon, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So we had to tap outside, and with that, we started doing roadshows. We went to government institutions. That was domestic. We started putting a voting booth at any spot that we could find, from banking institutions, retail outlets, to the airport. And then after that, what we decided to do is, since people are not really allowed to go to Butina in the marine protected area, we set up a Butina experience, which is an environment dome that we created at the Corniche, which is considered Venice Beach. Go hang out there or something like that. And over there we had a rehabilitation pool of turtles that were basically washed ashore whenever turtles get caught. Before we put them back into the wildlife, we have them placed over there, and we had them in complete isolation. But for once in a couple of hours, we would put them out in display and everything like that. And the weird thing is, a lot of people came to us and they were like, "Wow, you guys actually spent this much on robotic turtles." That's how alien it was for them, and how no one really realized that we do have a thriving ecosystem in the United Arab Emirates, and that we do have a rehabilitation center, and we also do have a vet. So through that, we got people excited, we got people engaged, and then after that, we also did the usual things, social media. social media, we had conferences, and what also really helped was the governing body of the United Arab Emirates was very intrigued about what was going on in their back door, and they were also compelled to see what was going at the Butina experience. So when the governing body had attended and they saw what was taking place over there, everyone else was just, it gave good form of legitimacy, and it just propelled everyone to come and vote for Butina. And over here is an example of the biodome, and I'm going to put on the video right now that's going to show you what it is.
I think it's a fantastic idea, given that people are not able to go, most of the time they are not able to go to those offshore islands. It's logistics-wise, it's not very easy. So if they get to see a microcosm of that island created here, it's really fantastic.
I like the, the sea cow.
I voted around 4 times for Butina, to be honest. Everybody should vote for Butina.
How do I go to the next slide? Next. Out of this, what we benefited was Butina and EAD were 1.5 million Facebook pages consistently on top. We received an award from New Seven Wonders Foundation in 2012 for Environmental Conscious Award, and we managed to get a lot of people aware of what's going on and what we have in our own backyard. And the key takeouts that we did is basically don't build your campaign in a vacuum. Understand your audience, which we slowly did after 2 phases. Talk to hearts as well as minds, and build the capacity through building your network. And we found social media a very effective tool. Thank you very much.
All right. It's amazing what you can do without having people even visit the site. Our final speaker is Tommy Garnett. He's a fellow CEC member, and is going to bring us to Sierra Leone and some inventive work he's doing. His talk's entitled Entertainment Education, Protecting Habitats in Sierra Leone and Liberia.
Thank you. I work for the Environmental Foundation for Africa, which I founded 20 years ago this year. And previous speakers, I think, alluded to the fact that one picture tells 1,000 stories, and it goes beyond that. You can also win hearts and minds. A well-done picture. Is there anybody here from the BBC? Because I was brought into this work after seeing one BBC documentary about my country just before war broke out in 1991. And I left my job I was doing at the time to go start an organization that 20 years later is doing work like this. Now, I have 10 minutes, so much to say. So what I decided to do is just show you a few pictures of one of the projects that we've been involved with for the past 10 years, to set the basis for talking a bit about a communication strategy that we feel will hopefully get us to where we want to go. Now, Tiwa Island is it's a nature reserve that is only 12, what have I done? It's only 12 square kilometers, but it's very rich. It's the highest concentration of primates in the world. 9 different species of monkeys, chimps, pygmy hippos, 135 kinds of birds have been counted, 700 plant species, all kinds of medicinal herbs you will find there. Unfortunately, it also is a place that has diamonds. And in the context of Sierra Leone, for us, diamonds, anywhere where there's diamonds, there's bad news. Now, these are just some of the species, the red corvus, and this is one of the communities. It's surrounded, it's an island in a river, surrounded by 8 communities. And every one of those 8 communities are all together. We have a population of about maybe 3,000 in those 8 villages. And when we started working there, we found out that there was like 99.something% illiteracy, and sitting, sort of living beside one of the most pristine and beautiful places in the world with huge potential for tourism, biological research. And these people, all they wanted to do was cut this place down and farm and grow rice. And we told them, no, this is not right. You can do better than this, but how do you communicate with these people? So we went ahead to build, tourism camps where people can camp and have a forest, experience a forest environment, go for forest walks, go in the rivers. We even have crocodiles. We also have researchers come to do primate research, birds, bird watchers. There's PhD students doing research on even pygmy hippos. Unfortunately, it's quite remotely located. It's about 200 miles from the capital city. So the number of people that come to visit Tiwa is not that much. However, the funding generated from these visitors helps to pay for maintenance of the island, plus some of that money goes back to support community development projects, in addition to some of the training and other capacity stuff that's happening. Unfortunately, all of this is not enough for a population that is so predominantly illiterate. And trying to make a difference in a situation like this is very, very tough. You never win. No matter what you do, it's not enough. So we figured, how do we, can I just show the other pictures just very quickly? How do we get to the other pictures? I need to close this here, and then, yes. What we decided to do was basically start a process whereby we can collect as many imageries of the animals on the island and use it to make educational tools that can create awareness about the richness of this place. So through the help of some of the research students that bring camera traps, we captured like the pygmy hippo, which is one of the most elusive creatures and it's endemic to the Upper Guinea forest ecosystem. We started to capture images of this, beautiful birds, the deers and chimps and all kinds of cats, the different monkey types. And so ultimately people began to see, this forest is rich, because normally they will just clear and burn and set traps and people will catch them, and suddenly visitors were coming from all over the place to visit. So in the last couple of years, despite all the efforts over the past 10 years, we realized we've spent probably $500,000 plus. Imagine how difficult it is to raise $500,000 over a 10-year period, and to spend that money wisely and achieve all these results, and still communities are not happy. Why? Because that money has not been invested directly in the communities. Why should we go and build all these nice things on an island for animals? They think we're just building this for the animals, and we're here, we don't live in roofed houses and so on and so forth. Trying to communicate with them was a challenge. So we came up with the idea of using entertainment education in partnership with a group that's based in New York, PCI Media Impact, who use storytelling to change attitudes. So we figured that, the chimp is a threatened species, and because it is a charismatic species in the West African context, it is our closest relatives, everybody says. The scientists say it's 98% human. The NGOs make the t-shirts that put on, please don't kill me, I'm 98% human. The community people think that we are chimps because we act like them, and then they see the chimps as the enemy, because when they make their farms, the chimps come and eat their crops. And so there's this vicious cycle of everybody pointing fingers. And how do you get all these people to come together so that the scientist is happy, the community people are happy, and the NGO people are happy? Come up with the idea of an entertainment drama which communities participate in. So they become the characters. So you have the government forestry officer, you have the student researcher, you have the NGO person, you have the local community people, you have the market woman. Usually it's women selling meat, so it's not just picking on women. The market woman selling the monkey meat, the hunter guy that goes and poaches in the forest. You have all these characters come together to make this radio drama, which now becomes a household thing where every week there's an episode and people can't wait to hear more. We think that through this process, people will get to learn about the significance of this animal and the habitat in which it lives. By using the chimp as an example, we hope to protect the habitat where we have all this richness, and we already begun to see that attitudes are changing. Of course, it's early days yet. We haven't really measured the impact, but we believe that it is the way to go because of the huge divide in haves and have-nots. And in the context of a country like Sierra Leone, which fought senseless war for 10 years and then spent the last 10 years trying to put things right, and then at a time when the global economy is in a slump, and when its economy relies on, budget support and grants and loans from all over the place, doing nature conservation work is not easy, because communities expect you to do the job of the government, and you have to then find ways to combine conservation work with social work, with development work, and it is not possible. And that is why effective communication tools are critical to the work that we do in this context. I think I'll hang it there because time is up. Thank you.
Thanks to the speakers for some wonderful, quick views of great work, and I hope you'll be able to follow up with individuals that you found exciting, and I do appreciate the time everybody has spent listening to us. It's been a great session. Thank you so much.
James Byrne. I work with him right